I'm not quite good at first impressions. I'm not so strong at first sight. But if this is the first in succession, then it will be alright. It will be alright.
Hey guys, I'm back. I'm alive. I'm sorry that it's been so long. My job kind of went really suddenly from like, who needs things to do to like, who needs sleep? You can tell when I get really stressed out about stuff like this because my room gets really messy. Why don't you look at this?
Messy, messy, messy room.
I was so pressed for time that I had to stop and get Chinese takeout several times for several meals, and they only take cash at that institution, so I collected so much change, and you know that I don't use that much change from other videos that I've done, that I just like kept it on my desk and ended up making this design with it.
Look, it's an alien.
But anyway, I did do my goal from my last video. I did the initial test and the first 2 days of the 100 push-up test, and the initial test I did 15 push-ups, which actually put me in the third rung out of 3, which was kind of surprising. It was a good surprise, though, that I'm actually on the top level of the push-up challenge instead of like the middle or bottom. And speaking of goal making, I'm actually going to make that a normal segment of my vlogs, but I can't do it every day just because it was really just too hard for me to do that. So what I'm going to change to instead of Vlogid is Vlogadev, which stands for Vlog a Goal Every Day I Vlog. I also like it because it's an adjective that sounds like it means Vlogid-like, except to spell it correctly I need an E on the end. Eggplant. Vlog a Goal Every Day I Vlog, eggplant. So my goal for today is to pack all of this stuff up so that I can move out really quickly tomorrow, because that's the day that camp ends. I also have lots of really good ideas for videos in the works, and I actually tried to do some of them, but they ended up being more time intensive than just doing these normal vlogs, and then I didn't have time to do the normal vlogs afterward. So that's why that didn't happen. But another thing that I did do while I had some free time at night, during which time I can't make a video anyway, I watched the Harry Potter movie, which was just so amazing and excellent, and I'm sorry if you do not share the same feelings as me. For example, Luna Lovegood's Gryffindor hat was just simply the most perfect realization of anything in the book thus far, I'm pretty sure. Except, of course, for the casting of Maggie Smith as Professor McGonagall and Alan Rickman as Severus Snape. I also really just liked the way Daniel Radcliffe's acting seems to have changed since the last movie. Like the fact that he could say lines like that one that was like, "and the pincers." And then him just getting sassy with Professor Slughorn was just amazing. You could see that he had really worked on how to show that the potion was affecting him in some weird, strange way. It was also just amazing how Rupert Grint acted like Ron being all like love-struck and stuff. It was just perfect. It was perfect. The one complaint that I've heard a lot recently, though, is about them not using the invisibility cloak enough. And I have to say that while I agree that you could film like him walking somewhere under the invisibility cloak really easily, it's not very easy to show things like facial expressions changing, which is the only way that you can really talk about unspoken emotions in a movie. And so, like, when he sees Dumbledore die, like, you can't hear his thoughts the way that she could portray them in the book. So you really had to see his eyes, like, bug out and him start to go nuts when he saw that happen. Otherwise, the audience wouldn't understand, like, oh, Harry Potter is upset that Dumbledore died. Plus, I feel like it's not really up to me to question those kinds of decisions, because I don't think that anyone can really claim to know the world of Harry Potter better than anyone else except for J.K. Rowling herself. And so I think that really any debates about whether this is actually in character or this is not in character are really just kind of pointless. I kind of equate it to religion in that people read these books and interpret them ultimately in their own way, in a way that makes sense to them, in a way that they imagine it. But then they assume, because that's the only way that they know, that it is the right way and the only way to read them. And that is simply not the case. Like, everybody is coming at it from a different perspective. So it's really important to recognize that things can be very, very different from person to person. For example, until I saw the movies, as long as I can remember, I actually imagined Malfoy with black, slicked back hair, just because that's how, as a young kid, I always imagined that mean people would be, just with, you know, black, slicked back hair. So that's just how I equated it, and I didn't care that the book said he was blonde. I thought he had black hair. And I didn't know until the movies how to pronounce a lot of the words, and I kind of liked my pronunciations better sometimes, but now I can't go back to it because the movies told me what to do. So ultimately, I think the movies are just something to be taken with a grain of salt, and people who watch them to be movies will enjoy them because they're good movies, but they're just not the books. And books are always better than movies. So anyway, I've got to go because I'm still a little pressed for time, but I will catch you guys next time. Bye!